Hello everyone, my name is Alexey, and today we are going to tell about TypeScript and how we can improve our code using some constructions like union types and type guards with narrowing types. I will explain and show how it works and how we can combine union types with type guards for making our code safe and neat. Okay, let's start and let's create our variable. So for example, let user ID, and it will be equals to, for example, 5. And as we can see, IDE infers this type, so it's a number for now. And if we will try to override this, for example, reassign our variable, so user ID equals to 9, it will be correct. But if we will try to reassign it to some ID, TypeScript compiler will send us an error about type string is not assignable to type number. And if we want to have union of these types of number and string, we can write something like number and pipe, a vertical line, and string here. And it will be our union. So number and string now allowed to variable user ID. And interesting thing that if we will try to reach methods and properties of this variable, it will be different, depends on its string or number corresponding to stream of file. What I mean, so if we will remove this, so user ID equals to 5, and now it's a number. So we can write dot here, and we can use all methods of number. But if we will return our string, and here we will try to write dot, we will have only strings methods here. Only strings methods are allowed, because after this line we have this line, and we reassigned our variable to string, and now only string methods and properties are available for use here. Cool. And type union can exist with more complex structures, and let's create two interfaces, like interface petrol car and interface electric car. And these two interfaces will have common properties like brand string and model string. Same properties in electric car, and will one different properties. For petrol car it will be tank capacity, looks like logical, it's number. And for electric car it will be battery capacity, also number. Nice. And we can have type vehicle. It will be union between petrol car and electric car. Nice. And let's create a function which will take vehicle and return corresponding capacity. It could be battery or tank capacity. We need just a number. So const get capacity equals to here will be vehicle, and we will return a number here. But as we can see, if we will try to reach properties of electric car or petrol car, it will be brand or model, not battery capacity and tank capacity, because it's a union. And we need somehow to narrow our types inside function, in which we can reach, for example, and write like vehicle dot battery capacity or tank capacity. And how we can do it? Let's try to figure out the technique firstly with primitives, numbers and strings. Okay, let's create an example function. So const example equals to arrow function, and here will be value. So value, and value could be string or number. And inside our if else statement, we can narrow this type. For example, now if we will write value, we will have 3 common methods, both for string and number. But if we will write, for example, if typeof val equals to, for example, string, in this scope we will definitely have a string, yes? And if we will write val here, we will have all methods of string. So here we will have definitely string. And if we will have else block, so val dot, and if here we will have methods only for number, because if we are inside this scope, we will definitely have a number. Cool, and let's remove our example and try to figure out what we can do with getCapacity function. Amazing, we will look at type narrowing with primitives, and let's figure out how to do it with more complex structure, for example, object. And here we can do almost the same. So we can write if battery capacity in vehicle, and it will be our first scope, and else it will be our second scope. So vehicle dot battery capacity. So here we will definitely have an electric car, and in else scope we will have definitely petrol car, and let's ensure, so yes, tank capacity, and as we can see, it's property of a petrol car. But it's simple example, and some checks could be really complex, and write them into if, it's not so good practice. So we can extract our check logic into a function. For example, we can write const is petrol car equals to, it will be vehicle, type vehicle, and we would like to return like boolean flag if it's petrol car or not. So we can just write return tank capacity in vehicle, and as we can see, we return boolean here. So a petrol car is petrol car function returns a boolean flag. And if we will write, for example, if is petrol car vehicle, we would like to execute some logic and return vehicle tank capacity. And as we can see, we still have here only brand and model. Why? This happens because, unfortunately, TypeScript can't understand that we are checking with this function that car is petrol, and here we will have definitely tank capacity property. So we need somehow to say to TypeScript, hey TypeScript, here we are checking the car is petrol, and here we would like to have a tank capacity, and in else block, for example, we would like to have vehicle battery capacity, because for now we have only brand and model, like in a common scope without ifs. So vehicle dot, and we will have only brand and model. So we return here a boolean flag, but we can write here so one expression, for example, vehicle is petrol car. And here we explicitly saying to TypeScript, hey TypeScript, we have a type guard here, and in this function we are checking which type of a car we have here. So and we returning a boolean flag if it's petrol car or not. So vehicle is petrol car, so it's a boolean expression. It will return boolean, yes. And if we will write this expression and we'll try to reach tank capacity property, we will have it here, because TypeScript now understands that this function returns a logic if this car petrol or electric. And we have here tank capacity, and here we have vehicle battery capacity. Yes, we can write it, and it will be fully type safe, and it will be neat, and this type guard saves our time and extract logic to check if car is petrol or not in different function. And it's a good pattern for the TypeScript, so how we can extract checking logic to a separate function and explicitly say to TypeScript, yes, it will be one type or another, and make narrowing and execute some logic here. So for example, we can count here the price for full tank and the price for charging full battery and something like that. So that's it. In this video we got acquainted with union types and also looked in practice how it's possible to narrow types so that the TypeScript understands in which scope we work with which object. We also built our own type guard in order to perform internal checks to belong to a particular type. So we are checking if vehicle is petrol or is an electric car, and we have fully type safe code. So please like, subscribe, stay tuned, please check the description and follow my Telegram channel. Bye.